meeting today on March 26th. And the first item on the agenda is discussion on the city facility long-term planning and funding option. Now, our committee has met numerous times to discuss the proposed half-a-cent sales tax increase to go towards some, needed facility upgrades. And we've had, as a commission, had some discussion on whether or not we should proceed ahead. And at our last meeting, we said to continue on. And today is we put some stuff together to talk about and get your advice as to how we should proceed. If you may bear with me, I'd like to read a little statement here first regarding what our proposed ideas are, and then we can have some discussion and then vote on it. So first of all, number one, the city has funding needs for our facilities and public safety operations, and we are a regional tourist designation. We should have a sales tax that reflects the economy of the region and reduce our dependency on property tax and utility fees to fund our operations. We provide high levels of public safety service that are not sustainable long-term without additional revenue sources, and we should leverage the economic assets we have in the area to fund these services. Item 2, the first major project we would undertake would be a relocation of the police department. They are cramped in the current quarters, and the LEC building is hanging on by a thread, and PD has no garage space, so we have concerns of those issues. Item 3, we would be a renovation and relocation of downtown for the existing city hall, depending on what makes sense economically and for the community. We should increase the sales tax, but can do so in a way to reduce burden on our local taxpayers. A priority would be to offset costs on utility bills. This would offset pretty much all our additional revenue contributed from the purchase of taxable goods and services. We will also create a mini legacy fund for the community to ensure long-term sustainability for our operations through wise savings over time so we can be responsible while also relying on sales tax, which we all know is market-driven. This is the right move for us, and we do have long-term needs, both facility-wise and operation-wise, that we can meet, that can be met, and we can do so responsibly and virtually with no increased cost to our local residents. At this time, I would ask the commission consider turning this over to the city attorney and the city administrator to come up with a ballot language for our consideration. So those are the reasons why we feel that we should continue on with this proposed half-cent sales tax. And at this time, I'd like to open it up for a little discussion.
If you were to build on a different location here downtown, what areas are we looking at?
There have been several sites, and I guess maybe I could turn that over to Mike, and Devin have kind of worked on some site locations. And there's been several ideas because we have multiple ideas of what to do. But unless the sales tax passes, we're not going to, it's funding wise.
But I was just wondering if it does go forward to build a new one, what areas are we looking at?
And Mayor, members of the commission, maybe one of the things that we've talk about specific downtown, either renovate City Hall. There's the parking lot just across from Riverbank that the city owns that could be utilized for such a purpose. There's also other locations in the city that
city-owned property.
City-owned property that would be nice greenfield development. And I think the idea is we need to relocate the police department. We can't do so without the additional revenue source. And the idea would be if, the citizens, contingent upon the commission going to the voters, did approve it, that there would be a public input process where we would have, all right, so moving into this location is going to cost this much, moving into this location is going to cost this much, because if you relocate it downtown, put it in here, it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive, but there's an intangible benefit to having it in a certain location that you have to you subjectively put a number to. Is it worth an extra $1 million to put it in the downtown district versus, we'll say, over by the ambulance service or whatnot? And the commission is going to have to make a decision. There's going to be dollars attributed to it. And so there would be a public input process, ideally, that would go along with that, so that you guys could hear from the community as to the location and the value. Like, for example, Mayor, we went to the chamber board meeting, and they said that even if it costs more to relocate City Hall into a dilapidated building downtown, it would be worth the extra cost and the building. Whether that's the sentiment of the whole community in your guys' judgment, you would have to determine that. But that would be the idea of where we're at right now as far as multiple locations. And some of the ones that we had gone through, Mike, am I forgetting one?
There were several sites downtown, but at this point, it seems a little bit premature to say this is the site.
Oh, yeah, I'm not asking
It's
for
just
that. I was just asking. like,
identify numerous sites.
Yeah.
So downtown, there were half a dozen different sites that were looked at. Individual property owners were not contacted, right? So we didn't go into a specific structure and do a full
But
analysis.
you looked at structures and lots.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Just wondering.
So you're just saying our first step, we need to get the money passed. So this is our first step.
Right, because and of course, all those proposals came in at today's cost with all the proposed tariffs going on. And so everything
A
was,
year from now. it's gonna
a year could be a lot different, yes.
But there's a firm desire that if we're going to go to the voters for money, we need to tell them what we would be doing with that. And we are still doing that. The first priority is a relocation of the police department.
Mhm.
Or whatever the commission says it is, but we have been talking that it would be the relocation of the police department because of a number of factors. Their current craft space, where the LAC is at in the building and those sorts of things.
And the need for garage
And the
space.
need for garage space. The next would be the city hall and whether or not it makes sense to move PD to this exact location would require relocation of city hall. And maybe it's just putting a Band-Aid on this place for city hall. But those would be the 1, 2, and then you do it in a way where it wouldn't be an additional cost to the residents through offsetting the utility bills. And so that the concept, that would be the concept.
Well, as a previous chief, I do concur with that whole statement where we were looking at trying to renovate the PD in its current spot where it was, and it was very difficult to do. And then trying it to try different locations like we were doing, and we came to talk to you guys about it in the past. I first started there 7 years ago, and it's only gotten worse. So I mean, there's a necessity there. Vehicles outside, 40 below zero, whatever it is. It's very wearing on the car. And our equipment wise, every other department has, equipment indoors.
Mhm.
And so there's a necessity there. For longevity. So do we make a motion to approve?
That's what we'd have to do if we want to forge ahead and then authorize the administrator and the attorney to put together the language for it.
So I will make a motion for the city attorney and the city administrator to make proper language for the balloting process.
Motion by
And I'll
Commissioner
second.
Kanowski. Seconded by Commissioner Hatch. Okay, any further discussion? No further,
This is to ask
Go
for
ahead.
half-cent sales tax?
but yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna put it on the ballot.
Obviously, it's not final, it's just directing the language.
Great.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call?
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
President Moe.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the authorized to call for bids for project 250103 Seal Coat. And I guess turn that over to Mike or?
Included within your packet is a memo outlining the seal coat project. Seal coats are a project that we do as a maintenance type item. We don't do special assessment with that. So we need authorization, call for bids. If you look beyond the memo, if you look at that cover sheet for the plan set, that'll show you the roadways that we're looking at completing chip seal. Recommend approval for authorization, call for bids.
I'll make a motion for approval for authorization to call for bids for
Second.
project 250103.
Commissioner Pierce, seconded by Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Let's see, roll call.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
President Moe.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. Third item, resolution approving plans and specifications and directing advertisement for bids, street improvement district 8225.
The next three resolutions that are on the agenda are separate resolutions because as the commission recalls, we created 3 separate districts for these street improvements in the event that one area didn't want to pay a special assessment for the roadway improvement. And so we lay that out. But if you look at the 3 resolutions, there's one plan set. The idea behind putting them all into one plan set is economy of scale benefits. If you're bringing somebody here to put asphalt down, typically if they have to put more asphalt down, you get lower cost per ton because they're setting up the plant, they're having to do the things they have to mobilize. So the first resolution is for Lynn, Cherry, and Jana. That's a separate district on its own. Recommend approval of the resolution and direct advertisement for bids.
I'll make a motion to approve the street improvement district number 8225.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The next resolution is the largest portion of the project. Recommend approval of the resolution and direct advertisement.
Of 8325.
Of 8325, correct.
I'll again make a motion to approve street improvement district number 8325.
Commissioner Kanowski,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion?
8325 covers where?
That's if you look at the map, it's the largest portion
Okay.
within the kind of the center of that, the area of the dark lines.
Excuse me.
More questions?
No.
Okay, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution 8425, approving plans and specifications.
Same thing here. This is the area on the northeast corner. It'd be 13th Avenue from 6th Street to 10th Street and a portion of 6th Street itself, northeast from 12th Avenue to 14th Avenue. Recommend approving the resolution and directing advertisement for bids. And again, there'll be one advertisement because it's one plan set.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution for approving plans or directing advertisement for bids for District 8325.
8425.
I'm sorry, 8425.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution approving plans, specifications, and directing advertisement for bids, Street Improvement District 8525.
8525 is the district associated with the downtown alleys. As part of that work, we're going to improve some of the parking lots downtown. We'll track costs separately with that. But this is the alley project we're looking at. Recommend approval of the resolution and direct advertisement for bids for that project.
I'll make a motion to approve plan specifications and direct for advertising for bids for project district number 8525.
Commissioner Pierce,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion?
As part of the improvements with that project, we plan to mill and overlay the parking lot for the senior center as well. It's kind of an odd alley there. The alley was vacated back in the 1980s, but it's still used as an alley, has asphalt on it. If we don't maintain it, nobody's going to maintain it, and it is utilized. So because we're working on the alley adjacent to it, we're going to do that parking lot as well. The senior center is a city-owned building. City's responsible for maintenance, so that'll be a cost that we'll just incur to get it done.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Last item is budget amendment 2503, Christmas decorations for out of the city beautification account 8008.
We continue to struggle with our Christmas decorations. We have budgeted $4,000 this year to replace some of our Christmas decorations. As a commissioner or two is aware, we don't have Christmas decorations everywhere. Some people who don't have Christmas decorations want a Christmas decoration. We keep the Christmas decorations that we have going, but over time, the connections get poor, the bulbs are burning out. We replace the bulb, we get things set, and then a little bit of wind, a little bit of vibration, the connections are loose. And so I think we can very much increase, the presence of our decorations. We do receive some positive comments with them. And it drives me crazy when we put up substandard Christmas decorations. Right now, there's end of year sales going on, so you can kind of push that dollar a little bit farther and buy some more Christmas decorations.
Do they have LED type decorations now, so you don't have to get the bulbs in there?
I would
Yeah,
think
the
so.
bulbs that we're buying are LED
Oh,
currently. Yeah, they're not the old ones. They have a lot lower current draws, so you can have more.
I didn't mean like it, instead of it being individual bulbs, have it strung with LEDs, so you don't actually have a bulb.
Oh, no, these are individual bulbs, but they're LED bulbs in the decorations that we have. We're looking at purchasing an assortment. And so at the end of last year, that beautification account had I think it was just over $43,000 remaining in it. And it seems like we can either push the can down the road a little bit and budget for next year, but it seems like, and we don't want to buy all the Christmas decorations in one year. You know, you buy a few, then you buy a few more, you buy a few more. That way you can cycle them and you don't have to replace all of them at one time. This will be part of that process where we purchase some this year. And then we'll look at during the budget cycle, making some adjustments for next year. The net on the budget, we already have 4,000 budgeted. We're asking for 15, so there'd be $11,000 additional funds available for Christmas decoration purchase for this year.
And we're at roughly 100% of the yearly expenses in the reserve balance. So the money is there. The money is there. And like Mike said, there's sales going on to the end of the month. That's why we're doing it at this meeting. Otherwise, we would have waited till the 7th, but there's deals to the end of this month.
Is this gonna be just for poles, decorations on the poles throughout town, or is there anything else you're looking at on top of that?
This would be for the poles. So currently we have, when we have all the decorations, we can put decorations on 6th Avenue, 6th Street, College Drive, Highway 19, as well as downtown. And you notice we just don't have a lot of decorations. Sometimes we're doing every third pole.
Yeah, no,
Things like that.
I just didn't know if maybe you were planning something on top of that, that's why I just.
No,
just
this
for
would be
information.
decorations that would attach,
Yeah.
similar to the ones we have, hopefully. So if anybody's interested in picking out a nutcracker guy versus a Christmas tree or a candle, we're more than willing to let you look through a catalog, but.
All right.
Is this or proposal going to be the same thing we're going to be looking at every year? Or is this a one-time deal?
Then the next time we talk about it, it'll be during budget. So it would be included in a budget.
So you would expect that the next one, instead of 4,000, we'd be looking at the 15,000 every year?
Not every year, but probably for a few years until we get back, and then it'd be a maintenance type item. But let's face it, everything's getting more expensive, right? The Christmas decoration that used to be $300 is now $500.
My
And
haircut.
you can spend $1,500 on one decoration if you like, right? Sky's the limit. So we just want to make sure that if we're putting something up from a beautification perspective, we want it to be something nice, not just something
I think
that's
the
a little bit
residents, the
sad.
residents expect that.
Mhm.
so.
I'm all for it.
The money is there, so it seems to make sense. But because we're exceeding that line item, we want to make sure that we have commission approval for that.
Make a motion to approve the budget amendment 2503.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
President Moe.
Aye. Motion carried. Well, that takes care of the agenda items on the special meeting. So without anything else on the agenda, I adjourn the meeting.